Welcome to Man Cave United. Welcome back to the cave. And we're here with my man Emad and my man from Wembley, Vermel. How are we going?
Very good, guys. How are you all doing?
Very good, very good.
We're here in the cave today and we're going to do a season review, 2021, 22. We're going to hit them all up. We're going to see what they think of the season. We all know it was shit, but we've got to do it. It's just part of the pod. We've got to laugh about the season. We can't take it too serious. We've got a revolution ahead or an evolution, either way. But we're going to throw some questions at the boys, and we're going to make this pod interesting and controversial as usual. So I'm going to throw the first one.
I hope it's not devolution, actually.
Devolution.
Revolution. Yeah, that would be a disaster.
All right. The first question I'm going to throw at Emad is the best performance of the season. What are your thoughts? What game? Give me why.
We either got first game of the season versus Leeds, or actually, no, I'm going to go with that one. I'll go with that one. As well as 5-1.
It was 5-1.
5-1. Bruno Fernandes hat-trick.
Yeah, Mason Greenwood goal. Fred a goal.
Mason Greenwood, Fred, Pogba 4 assists.
And Pogba got 4 assists.
Yeah, everything else seems to be a blur after that. It was just a...
What do you reckon, Vim? What are your memories of that game, or have you got another game?
Yeah, the thing is, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm struggling to remember the game. I know it was brilliant, and it was the first game of the season. I thought, wow, we've started off really well. And I thought, they say the season goes on as it begins, and I really thought we're going to have a great season. And it just all started to fall off. But you're right, that was probably the best game of the season. And that is shocking when you think about it.
But that's the benefit of playing Leeds United. Leeds United are so open, and they allow teams to play attacking football. You just have to, keep the ball against Leeds, pass it around, and you're in the 18-yard box and shooting on goal. And that's why I'm happy they actually stayed up, Adam. I know you want them to go down, but I'm happy they stayed up. Guaranteed 6 points. Season. Yeah, and plenty of goals.
They make the league exciting, don't they? Because they play such expansive and risky football.
Not
they
really.
Make it a little bit. They do.
It's not that they make it exciting.
mean, it's opinion, right? But I think they play risky football, and it makes it quite interesting.
They do play risky football. That's why they get pumped every week.
Yeah.
And how their manager lasted so long, I've got no idea. But like I said, I can't remember any other good performance really, to be honest. The season's a big blur. 5-1. I don't think you can go past it.
There was one other game. It
was a good performance all round from that game. From start to finish, they were on fire. And we thought the season was just going to be, wow, here we go again. And then just after that, we had Cristiano Ronaldo signed for us, and mate, we're winning the league, and mate, we were happy chappies, weren't we at the time?
Yeah.
He came in. We got another win straight up, even though we didn't play the best, but we looked all right in that game that he started. Be Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah. To tap in.
Yeah. There was a couple of other games when he got the hat trick, Ronaldo. So was that against Tottenham, if I remember rightly?
Yeah. So that was late in the season. So he went. Yeah. Remember, he went 6 games without scoring a goal.
Yeah,
on the turn.
Yeah, then he answered the critics.
Yeah, well, but then he came back against Brighton and he scored. I think he scored the winner, 2-1 for Brighton. I think it was. Yeah. But look, he turned out. He scored 24 goals. 24 goals, top goal scorer for United. Let's look at Ronaldo for a second because we don't want to make the pot about him. It is a season review, but it is a big question. Did Ronaldo benefit the team? Vim?
I think so, yeah. Because, this was a team that just couldn't find any goals from anywhere. And if we didn't have him and Cavani stayed injured as he did or made himself unavailable, then where would the goals come from? You know, everyone was pretty poor in midfield. The defense was absolutely shambolic. De Gea was brilliant all season. Where would the goals come from? If we didn't have Ronaldo, we'd probably be at the bottom of the table.
Do you think, Emad, that the players just couldn't rise to Ronaldo's level, or was Ronaldo's expectations of other players too high?
I think a bit of both. Mainly, more so the first one, they couldn't rise to his level, and that's just because of the quality of player that they are. Look, I've been quite a critic of Ronaldo this season, not because of his performances or his ability, because we all know what the man can produce. It's more, I was skeptical about him signing it. As excited as I was, it was more about what he was going to do to the dynamic of the team. And I've said it from day dot. And you could see the dynamic change. And, you know, other players in the side should have been stepping up to that standard that Ronaldo sets, you know, considering the achievements he's gone on to have in the career that he's had. But they didn't step up. Instead, they sort of wilted away and they weren't hiring, you know, players that helped us get to second in the league the season before. Didn't step up this season at all. So,
Mate,
look, you're always going to get what you're going to get with Ronaldo. And that's his performances weren't great all season. Let's not make a mistake by saying that he was fantastic all season, because he wasn't.
that's what I said. I did say that.
Once then he went on that once the new year, we ticked over into the new year, he went on a bit of a goal drought, and then he came back with that. Was Brighton the first goal he scored before the hat-trick?
Was his first goal back, and then which we won 2-1, and then he scored. Didn't he score? I think we lost. I think he had a rest the following game, and then he came back, scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
And then I think he didn't score for the next 2 games, and then scored the hat trick again, or was it one game? Yeah.
In terms of goals, like, you can't fault him. He's bagged heaps of goals this season. You know, I mean, 37-year-old peak. He's still in the peak physical condition.
I first to admit it, when I heard Ronaldo sign, mate, I was running around this cave going, "See!" I was going for a walk with me missus up the road. I see my mate, I'd be going, "See!" I was all over it, even though, you know.
What impressed me the most with Ronaldo towards the end of the season, not so much the last few games, because the whole performance from the whole side was pretty shithouse. What impressed me the most was his individual performances, and he didn't always score goals. Like, there were some games he didn't score goals, but then you saw him doing things that other players should have been doing. The game against Chelsea, he was everywhere. The game against Arsenal.
I'll maintain that as soon as he had that break, he came back a different player. He most definitely did. But before that, I don't believe he was 2 different players this season. Before, when he went away did he go back to Portugal? Did he, Vim?
He did, and he checked himself out, saying he needs some time to recover. I think he said he had a problem with his hip, and he said, "Look, I need to go away." So he manages himself very well.
Yeah.
He doesn't play himself into the ground and then check out for the rest of the season. I thought that was a good move.
No, it was good. Okay, let's move on from that. Look, in all 3 of us, we think Ronaldo was a good move for United. Players couldn't match him, and so on the flip side of that, what players need to move on? Or what players do United need to move on?
I think Lingard
starting
should
with
be
you.
going. I think Lingard should move on. I think he's caused a little bit of. He's ruffled a few feathers. I think he should go. I think Pogba probably should move on. You know, he's not shown the club a lot of respect by signing a new deal and showing commitment to the club. He just keeps flirting with others and allow his recently deceased agent to cause issues. I remember, you know, making announcements just before a Champions League game and sort of disrupting that game almost. So he's one that should definitely move on.
Anyway, it's finished.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he should move on.
Yeah. Oh, well, if his contract's done, he's no longer a United player then.
Yeah, well, what do you call it? Look, Lingard, the United should have, with Lingard and Pogba the year before, they should have been trying to make money out of him, shouldn't they?
They should. But the problem is they purposely run their contracts down. Lingard,
But that's United's
I think
fault, isn't it? Is it
it
not
is
United's
partially
fault?
as
They
well.
should have moved him on.
They should have moved him on, yeah. They should have. They should have
Yeah.
sold Pogba a couple of years ago. As for Lingard, we should have sold him to West Ham. They were willing to
Yeah.
pay 30 million, and I don't know why he stayed, and I don't know who told him to stay.
I think it was the Greenwood situation.
But the guy was
Yeah, it was the Greenwood
the
situation.
Greenwood
Yeah, the
situation.
Greenwood situation because of what happened to him, and then we were kind of thin up top there. Not
Yeah,
like we
Ranić
played Lingard
actually-
anyway.
Ranić actually gave him permission to move on, and it was the board that said, being that we've got a Greenwood situation, he has to stay now, and then basically that's when it all fell apart for Lingard,
Yeah.
really.
And he still didn't even play. Even when Greenwood was out, he still
No.
didn't play. It was such a
Yeah,
waste.
that's right.
You know, and
So-
it's the shocking thing is, right? I was reading about our recent sale history, and guess who we've made the most money on recently?
Lukaku.
It'd be
Daniel James.
yeah, Daniel James to Leeds.
Yeah. You
It's
know,
crazy, isn't it?
such a fringe player, such a cheap player that we got anyway, and we sold him onto Leeds, and that's where we've made any real profit. That's
Yeah,
how
but
bad we are
I
as a
forgot we
selling
actually
club.
had him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was, had a cameo with us, for a couple of seasons. But he just seemed to me like a squad player. And that's where we've made some profit. That's how bad we have become as a selling club. Man, that's terrible.
You've still got players like Bailey, Jones. We know Matter's moving on.
Maybe.
Aaron, what about here's one for you. Emad, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
He can
Yep.
go. Luke Shaw can go.
But we
Tellez
know
will
we're
probably
not
go
going to
too.
bring in 10 players, so
Yeah, I know. But if
we're
you're talking
not going to
about
bring
like
in 10 players.
just who we would move on,
Yeah,
I'd move on 80% of the squad, 85% of the squad, to be honest.
yeah.
We'll be starting the season with no one.
Yeah, maybe it needs to be done, you know. Maybe you need that full reset. Because if these players are still behaving the way they do under Ten Hag, then it's going to be another one of those shambolic
Well, you-
seasons, no matter
you look at-
how hard Ten Hag tries.
You look at what Ollie did when Ollie took over, right? And slowly got rid of the dead wood, you know, and we all understand that he couldn't get rid of everyone straight away. So, you know, one transfer window, maybe get rid of a couple, wait for the next one, get rid of a couple. And that's fair enough. But then by the time that's come full circle and all the deadwood's gone, we've got a new batch of deadwood.
Yeah.
It's like we're breeding deadwood. Maybe there's like a deadwood virus. Or is it the Edward virus?
Yeah. Well, mate, it was the Ed Woodward virus, isn't it?
It's
Really?
Deadwood.
The Ed Woodwood,
Deadwood.
Deadwood.
Yeah. Did you have a couple of beers with him at football?
Oh, mate, I'm just still pumping on adrenaline.
Honestly, I think you might be right. There might be some breeding
Deadwood.
fucking bunker underneath the stadium there.
You know when you guys
At the end of the Munich tunnel, you reckon?
yeah, you know
Something's
when you
going on
lift
there.
up the floorboards, right, and you find what do they call it?
Termites.
The termites that eat up the wood.
Yeah,
You know the structure of your
Yeah,
wood is termites. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might have an issue of that under our floorboards at Old Trafford.
under the floorboard,
Deadwood.
on the top of the
Yeah,
stadium.
everywhere. All right. Let's keep going. Worst moment of the season.
Can we put
Worst
the whole
moment.
season?
You get
Uh,
one. Emad, you're up.
Worst moment of the season.
Worst
The
moment.
day it's stacking Ollie. The 4-1 loss to Watford and Ollie's sacking. It's my
Wow.
worst moment. I'm not gonna say it's I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say it's the club's worst moment.
Yeah.
It's my worst moment for the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't happy when Ollie got sacked. I was a bit filthy on that, and I did mention it on Tim's pod, Soccer as We Like It, and got a bit of a bagging for it, and it's proved right that Ollie should have stayed, because and we'll move on to Ralph Rangnick a bit later, but yeah, I don't think Ollie should have stayed. 100% he should have stayed. He put a lot of work in over the couple of years, and I know we were having some bad results, but you've got to let a manager have the opportunity to get himself out of that as well. What do you reckon, Vim?
In saying that, sorry, Vim, but in saying that, I do think it was right that the club moved him on at some stage.
Yeah.
For me, the reason why it's the worst moment for me was just in the manner that it happened. Not because it was any fault of his own.
Yeah.
But everyone can now see that it's the group of players who, and I don't understand why it's taken everyone so long to see it, that it's the players who have just stopped playing, down tools. Do you know what I mean? And because they've done it to Ralph.
They throw all the managers under the bus.
Yeah, they've done it to old
these
Wreck-It
cancerous
Ralph.
players. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. But the thing is, with Wreck-It Ralph, he's gone and wrecked them as well in return by outing them. So, and he's caused some senior heads to be removed from the club. They've got rid of Matt Judge and various others, the head coaches, scouts rather.
Yeah.
So he's kind of throwing it back in their face. Well, if you guys are going to allow this club to remain with Deadwood, then I'm gonna start shaking as well. I'm gonna start shaking the foundations, and he's done that. So I think sometimes you have to go through a real lull to then start rising from the ashes again. And I think we've gone through that lull now. We've gone through that low period, our worst season ever for God knows how many years.
So what
maybe
would you
we
say,
can start
Vim's
rising.
your worst moment of the season?
For me, just crashing out of the Champions League was pretty bad. In the manner we did it, against Atletico, we didn't score a single goal, did we? Over 180 minutes.
No, we did.
Did we score a goal?
Oh wait, Alanga.
Alanga, okay.
Oh yeah, dude.
So then that was the only goal. I just remember it was just so goalless, and it was such a timid performance. I just think over two legs we were just shocking. They were just the better team all the time, and I think we could have gone a little bit further in the Champions League.
2-1, I think. 2-1 away.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact score. I just remember it was really underwhelming, and I think from that point onwards the team just went into a nosedive even further.
Actually, I've got a couple of more.
No,
Sorry.
my
only one
is,
allowed, Emad.
I've got a couple more.
My one's, I'm pretty sure maybe this one is one of yours, is the 5-0 against Liverpool.
Yeah, that's one.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
By far for me, the worst moment in the season. By far. Just purely, I don't care if we get beaten. I don't want to get beaten by 5-0 by anyone. But especially against Liverpool and the attitude of the players. The attitude of the players just destroyed it for me. It was shocking. They didn't put any effort in. It was a training run for Liverpool. It wasn't until late in the game where one of our youth players came in, put a couple of hits on, and
that was in the second game.
Yeah, that was the second game. What was that? That was a 4-0. 4-0. Yeah. Fuck it. Just
first one was
just
5
as
at
bad.
The 5-0 was at Old Trafford.
Old Trafford,
for me,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's another one for me. But also when City came to Old Trafford.
Yeah, that was 4-0 as well, wasn't it?
No, I think it was only 2-0.
2-0.
It was 2-0, but it was worse.
Too many fours and too many twos.
They completely dominated. They just played with us, toyed with us.
Yeah.
So many bad performances.
For me, it's not about the result. It's more about the attitude. Yeah. The attitude in those games was just absolutely horrendous. And I've never seen a United squad, even though we've had a lot of bad games in the past 10 years. For me, the attitude of the players this year by far outweighs any team that I've ever seen for Manchester United. And they should be fucking embarrassed. Sorry.
Beep.
Embarrassed by their performances right through the whole season, or the attitude of their performances all year. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's the performance. It's not the result. It's the performance. The result just rubs the salt into the wound. That's all it does.
Yeah. All right.
Let's move away from the negative stuff.
Yeah.
Even though the whole season was negative. I'll ask one. What was your favourite goal this season?
Favourite goal? It was look. Bruno's goal was pretty good outside the 18, where he smashed out. What game was that?
Newcastle.
Newcastle, yeah. I think it was against Newcastle.
Yeah,
from right to left it went. But Ronaldo scored a cracker as well. That was at the left footer, top left corner. I think it was
the one against
in the
Tottenham.
Champions League goal.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I might go the Ronaldo one against Tottenham from outside the box.
Oh yes, yeah.
That was a good one. Bruno's one was good.
Yeah. It's right there.
Even Bruno's hat-trick goal against Leeds.
Yeah.
Just the build up, the ball from Lindelof.
Oh yeah, over the top.
I like as beautiful as screamers from outside the box are. I love good team goals, or there's a nice assist.
I love when they draw the keeper. That's why I like City's goals a lot. They remind me of futsal goals where you have to draw the keeper or someone's riding in on the back post. And as you saw in City's last Premier League game to win the title, they had 2 goals on the back post. I love those goals. They're just great team goals.
What's your favourite goal?
I don't really have a favourite goal. I do like Ronaldo's hat-tricks because when he gets them, he's completely fired up for that game. It's always a good response, to either a lull in his goals or a bad team performance. So for me, there's no individual goal. I just appreciate his hat-tricks when he pulls them out. I just love all of them. I remember the one, I think it was was it Tottenham when he had a left foot, right foot, and then he had a header as well. Basically a perfect hat-trick. I think that was brilliant. Those are the most memorable for me.
Yeah, you always like to see the left foot, right foot header goal. Look,
yeah,
it doesn't get any better for Ronaldo when he pulls off a header, does it? Really? Yeah,
no,
and that was probably a little low in his season when he was missing those, wasn't he? In pre-Christmas, he went through a period there where he was missing a lot of those ones. But you know what? Came back.
Probably down to the shit surface, but
shit surface or service.
Service.
Service, yeah.
Yeah, the crosses weren't the best, and we don't have anyone in the team that can produce a decent cross anyway.
No. I've got a question for you guys.
Go on.
I mean, obviously, we've watched pretty much every game of the season, and we can see there's serious problems and there's serious weaknesses throughout the pitch. Where do you think we need which area of the pitch do you think needs most improvement?
All of it.
If you were to pick one, let's say, if you had, let's say, a £200 million budget, and most of your budget is going to be spent on a area of the pitch, where's our weakness? Where's our biggest weakness?
I think our defensive midfielders, for me.
Honestly, everywhere.
Yeah, but you know what? Look, if you look at the full setup, right? The play our midfield all year was weak. So it just adds, and this is what I've been trying to say, not just on this pod, but Tim's as well, is if your midfield isn't defending correctly, your defense can't defend for 90 minutes. They just can't. It's impossible. You see it all the time. No matter how good your team is or how weak your team is, if your midfield's not working for you, your defense is just under the pump consistently. They can't stay solid for that amount of time because the pressure just keeps building and building and building. Mistakes start happening. Your line of defense starts coming out of shape. And you just don't have that extra man. Like we played with 2 6s for nearly the entire time he was there, right? And yet we still couldn't get it right. So we're basically playing with a 6-man backline. And it was shocking. So you've got to look at your defensive midfielders first, I reckon, in the whole setup.
You, Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to maintain it everywhere because we need... we don't have any decent defenders. Like, really, everyone that played in the back line this year was on average below par. Midfield, shocking. And yes, they stood out like a sore thumb. They were the worst performers this season in our midfield. And then we also need to invest in another striker. We can't expect Ronaldo to play up front on his own next season. You know, Cavani's gone. Rashford, who knows what's going to happen with him, not in terms of being transferred or anything, but in terms of his form or how he's going to come back next season. Who else do we have to play up front? No one. Midfield needs strengthening. Our wingers, we probably need to invest in another winger. We can't just rely on who do we have? We got Sancho out wide and Elanga out wide. We need world-class players all over the pitch. And at the moment, we don't have that. Like, other than Ronaldo, but the bloke's turning 38. He's got hip problems already, but he's 38.
Are you surprised that we haven't signed anyone yet?
I was talking about this yesterday with Tom. That, you know, why we haven't acted so quickly. I don't know. It could be because Ten Hag's only just got his foot in the door, and he's still trying to suss everything out. And I'm sure he already has a plan in his mind, and he has a wish list already sorted and ready to go. But who knows why they haven't acted yet? Maybe they're waiting to see if.
Well, what do they got? They got 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off. What's that take us? 2 weeks takes us into June. So you think by June, let's say 12th or 15th, they're back at training, pre-season. Next minute, they're on the tour. Because when's the tour start? The 12th of July. So that gives them basically 4 weeks.
It's quite a big tour as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thailand, Australia. I don't know if there's another stop somewhere else back in Asia, and then they go into Oslo in Norway.
Yeah. So it doesn't even really give them that much time. Look, I know they usually sign a couple after the tour, don't they? They usually see a couple after the tour and usually see a couple before the tour. So it'll be very interesting, especially if a lot of people think they're going to be signing out 10 players. So it'll be a very interesting time in the next month.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Adam. I was going to say, there's some news about Christopher Nkunku. You guys heard anything about this guy?
No. No.
It's come out in the Express that United are keen to sign this guy from RB Leipzig, surprisingly.
Okay.
And Ten Hag seems to be keen on him. Nkunku, France international. He was recently named Bundesliga Player of the Season.
Mate, we could be attached with anyone. Who knows? Anyway, let's keep the review going. So let's go to Player of the Year and start wrapping it up. So we're going to go Player of the Year. So I know who my Player of the Year is.
You can't go past him.
Vim, give us your Player of the Year.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's either up top or in goal. I think it's a difficult one, really, because De Gea has saved us a lot throughout these games, and so has Ronaldo. But I think Ronaldo
we finished on a goal difference of 0, if that helps.
Yeah. So
there's no wrong answer. It's whatever you think.
Yeah, of course.
So it's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
There's no wrong answer as long as it's Ronaldo.
I'll tell you why it's Ronaldo. Yeah. Because Ronaldo has maintained his professionalism throughout the campaign. He's not behaved stupidly. He's not gone on. He's kind of separated away from the crowd that has been causing a lot of problems in this dressing room. And he's, despite how emotionally he gets on the pitch, you can see that he's up for it every single game. You've got commitment with that player. He comes on and you're going to get the best out of him. And I think he stood out from the rest of the crowd that this is how you should behave as a footballer at this club. And for me, that's why he gets Player of the Year.
Beautiful. For me, it's De Gea by an absolute mile. By an absolute mile. Ronaldo had a low through the season, 6 games without scoring, missing easy chances when he should have scored. De Gea stayed consistent the whole year. Even when we were losing, he kept us in the game to allow Ronaldo to win the games for us. So for me, De Gea was the one that really won the game for us, because there was times there where we were 2-0 down or 1-0 down, and De Gea's kept us in the game, and then Ronaldo scored 2 late goals or something like that, and De Gea is the one that allowed us to stay in the matches, to provide the team chances to score goals. So for me, it's De Gea.
I can't disagree. Can we give it to both? Joint.
No. There's no way I'm giving it to both. De Gea wins it by a mile for me.
So joint player of the season, Cristiano Ronaldo and David De Gea. Well done, Adam. Thanks for agreeing.
Well, let me tell you, our supporters, if they put it to a vote through Manchester United, no matter how shit Ronaldo plays, he'll win it. So
yeah, true.
That's how stupid our fans are.
Worst player. Who's the worst player of the season?
Worst player of the season? Oh, gee whiz. Worst player of the season for me would have to be. And you know what? I'm not going to say Harry Maguire. I'm not going to say Harry Maguire because I thought he copped so much shit. You know who I was pissed off with the whole year? Friggin' Luke Shaw. He does me head in. Luke Shaw. He just kills me.
He doesn't even play anymore, does he? He's just like, he's gone.
Exactly my point. When the chips are down, he goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Harry was shit. Oh no, he was crap.
He was
But
awful.
there's something about Luke Shaw that just annoys the shit out of me. And
it's a lack of commitment.
It's the commitment thing for me with Luke Shaw. And he's just the shit he does. Like the amount of times he went, I think it was 3 times he went down this year with a foot injury. And it was not like that he went in for a tackle. It was just like, oh, it's too hard now. I'm going down. I'm out. I'm done. Yeah. So for me, just on attitude, Luke Shaw. I expect so much more out of him.
Jim, who is your worst?
For me, I completely agree with what you're saying in terms of commitment about Luke Shaw. But for me, it is Harry Maguire, and the reason is because of him is that because of the defensive errors he keeps on making, and the fact that he does not get dropped. When we've got other centre backs who could quite easily fit in and do a better job than him, and I realize that maybe the club has to play him because of the debt service ratio and that finance deal we've got around assets. But I just think he makes too many errors. He's too slow. His positioning is off, and he keeps going into midfield and exposing our defense and our back line. I just think that he needs to focus on becoming a decent defender if he can next season, and have that captaincy removed from him. For me, he was the worst this season.
I agree. Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw close second. 100%.
Guys, I've got a quick question for you, actually. I'm just keen to pick your brains, right? Obviously, we're linked with lots of players, but who would you like to see come into this club next season?
For me, you know what, Vim? I try and stay out of that kind of stuff.
Jesus.
Sorry?
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. I do. I really try and stay out of the transfer market. Like I've said to you before, I do try and stay up with it, but for me, there's always too many players involved in being linked to the club. So
whether we get them or not,
hard news, I just don't get into it.
Yeah, not as in who would come
I know
in.
Emad.
Who would you like to see at this club? Who do you think could? I mean, there must be some other player out there that you kind of like.
I'll give you one, and I don't know if it's the right one, but I really liked watching him play. Declan Rice. I really
Oh, he's
liked
good.
watching him play, and
Yeah.
I thought he could make a big difference to our team. I just liked his attitude, and I've seen a couple of documentaries on him, and I just think he's the kind of player that could really embrace everything that goes on at Manchester United. I just think he would believe in the club, he would believe in the badge, he would believe in the history. For me, he's the
Not for
type of player
150
that I
million.
think that would come into the team
He's
and
expensive.
make a difference.
Yeah, he's
Not
very
for
expensive.
150 million. No
Emad,
way.
do you?
No,
Who
I'm not
would you
looking
like?
at price wise. I don't even look at that. But a player that I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind, that would be him.
What about you, Matt? Anyone that you particularly like out there?
Pau Torres from
Pau
Villarreal.
Torres.
Yeah,
Okay. Why is that?
because he'd be easily our best defender. Easily. He's fast. He can read the game. He's good on the ball. Plays a high line. He knows how. He understands the game. And he's him next to Varane. Can't go wrong there.
Be a solid back line.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, boys.
For me, I like. I don't know what you think of him, but Anthony at Ajax on that right wing. You've seen him play. He's pretty aggressive. I think he's quite good. And the other guy I really like as well, CDM, is Ruben Neves. Whether we'll get him or not, I don't know.
Good, yeah.
Be good, solid CDM for us.
Beautiful. All right. Well, that's the review, all done and dusted. Really good way to end the pod with 3 or 4 players that we'd like to see to get into the team. Remember, leave your comments on YouTube. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Give us a follow. Give us a chance. We're doing our best out here. We're free fathers having a go. And we'll see you on the next one in a couple of days, I suppose. And so we'll check you later. And glory, Man United. See you, boys.
Later.